At 30,000 feet above the ground, where no one can walk away, where help is limited, and dignity should matter most. One pregnant woman was humiliated in front of an entire cabin. Not because she broke the rules, not because she was unsafe, but because of how she looked. Stay with this story until the end, because what happened next changed airline policy forever. Before we begin, if you believe respect should never depend on race, and human dignity should come before authority, please subscribe and support stories that stand against racism. Now, let's begin. Maya Johnson rested her hand gently on her stomach as she walked down the jet bridge. 7 months pregnant, tired, careful with every step, she wasn't traveling for luxury. She was traveling for family. After a stressful pregnancy, her doctor had approved one final trip to attend her sister's wedding in Chicago. Maya wore comfortable clothes, no designer labels, no jewelry that stood out, just a calm smile and quiet strength. Maya found her seat near the aisle. She buckled in slowly, breathing deeply, as pregnant women often do. Around her, passengers chatted, laughed, scrolled through phones. The flight attendants moved briskly, professional, efficient. At first, everything felt normal, peaceful. As the plane prepared for takeoff, Maya stood briefly to adjust her bag in the overhead bin. That's when a flight attendant stopped beside her. "Ma'am, you need to sit down immediately," the attendant said sharply. Maya nodded. "I'm sorry, I said sit down," the attendant repeated, louder this time. Heads turned. Maya sat quietly, her face warm with embarrassment. A few minutes later, Maya pressed the call button. She needed water. Her mouth was dry. A different attendant approached, but instead of kindness, her voice carried irritation. "You already caused a delay," she said. "What do you need now?" Maya blinked. "I just need some water." "I'm pregnant," the attendant sighed loudly. "So is half the plane uncomfortable," she muttered. Passengers heard it. When the water finally came, it was slammed onto the tray table. "Next time be prepared before boarding," the attendant said. Maya's hands trembled. She wasn't crying yet, but something inside her cracked. Not fear, shame. Later in the flight, turbulence hit. Maya instinctively reached for the armrest and stood slightly to steady herself. Suddenly, a hand pushed her shoulder. "Sit down," an attendant snapped. The push wasn't violent, but it was unnecessary, and everyone saw it. The cabin went quiet. No one spoke. Some looked away, some looked uncomfortable. Maya's heart raced, not just for herself, but for her baby. She whispered, "Please don't touch me." The attendant rolled her eyes. "Drama," she said under her breath. Another crew member approached. "What's the issue?" he asked. "She's being difficult," the attendant replied. Difficult for asking for water, for standing while pregnant, for existing. Maya spoke calmly. "I've been respectful," she said. "I just want to be treated kindly." The crew member looked unconvinced. From across the aisle, an older white woman stood up. "That's not true," she said firmly. "She's done nothing wrong." Others nodded quietly, but the damage was done. Maya had already been labeled. The flight landed. Applause followed, but Maya didn't clap. She just wanted to leave. As passengers exited, whispers followed her. Some sympathetic, some curious, none apologetic. Once inside the terminal, Maya sat down. Her hands were shaking. She pulled out her phone and made a call. Not to complain, not to threaten, just to talk. "Hey," she said softly, "I'm okay, but something happened." On the other end of the line was her husband, Daniel. He listened quietly, very quietly. Daniel Johnson wasn't flashy. He didn't brag. But he happened to be a majority shareholder and board member of the airline's parent company. He wasn't angry. He was concerned and disappointed. The next morning, Maya submitted a detailed report. Times, names, seat numbers, no exaggeration, just facts. Daniel made one call. "Review the footage," he said. "Every second." Security footage. Cabin recordings. Passenger statements. The tone, the body language, the unnecessary force. It was all there, undeniable. Executives sat silently in the boardroom. This wasn't a social media storm. This was evidence. One executive finally spoke. "This isn't just misconduct," she said. "This is bias." The crew members were removed from duty pending investigation. Mandatory retraining was ordered. New policies drafted, not because of power, but because of principle. Maya didn't ask for revenge, she asked for change. "I don't want another woman," she said. especially a pregnant woman of color to feel small in a place where she can't escape. Her words spread. The airline released a public apology. Not vague. Not defensive. Specific, direct, they admitted failure and promised reform. This story was never about status. It was about human dignity. Racism doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers through tone, through assumptions, through silence. Maya later gave birth to a healthy baby girl. She held her close and whispered, "You deserve respect everywhere you go." And that is the lesson. Backhand index pointing right, never judge someone by appearance. Backhand index pointing right, never mistake authority for superiority. Backhand index pointing right, and never forget, dignity is not optional. If this story moved you, if you believe in fairness, and if you stand against racism, like, share, subscribe, because stories change minds. And minds change the world.